In this video, we're going to be talking all about the honey badger and so many things that we can learn from this amazing creature in the world of survival and self-defense. Stick around. If you're familiar with the very popular honey badger video that hit the internet probably over a decade ago, we know first and foremost that the honey badger just doesn't care. In what way, you may ask? He just doesn't care at all. No matter what I say in this video with regards to what we can learn from a honey badger, at the end of the day, we're not honey badgers. We're not built like them. We're not the same kind of creature, but I do believe there are parallels, symbolic things that we can take from the characteristics of a honey badger. If you have ever watched a honey badger get attacked, it's a very entertaining thing to watch. These things are decorated with the ability to fight back and survive. They are very hard to take down. They're very hard to beat. They're very hard to subdue. They're small, yes, but they're very dangerous. For their size, they're very stocky and muscular and powerful. What we can learn from that is, let's just say you're a smaller person. That doesn't mean you have to be weak at the same time. Small people get out here every day and hit the gym and build their bodies. And though they're small, they're still very strong. Size absolutely matters, but it doesn't always determine the outcome. And there are many situations where the smaller person prevails. There are many situations where the smaller animal either prevails or gets away. And in a self-defense scenario, getting away is what we want. Another thing we can learn from the honey badger is this. When that animal is attacked, that animal gets in the fight. That animal is fierce, often fearless, and fully committed to not even always just getting away, but dealing out the pain. We as people, if we get in a squabble or we are attacked, there has to be an acceptance and a commitment, because if we don't accept it and we're not committed to our survival, we're not going to have the killer instinct and the fierceness that we need like the honey badger has. A lot of times in my videos, people talk a lot about the book, The Gift of Fear. It's a very popular book in the world of situational awareness and survival. And I understand that gift of fear that the author's talking about, because fear that's fueled and turned into fire and commitment and the ability to respond properly is everything. But there are times when fear cripples people and they don't respond well and they freeze. That's why I make videos like this, because you watch a video like this on YouTube, it trains your brain and you start thinking a little bit more about what your response should be in those situations, and you've had time to think about it, which may better your chances of responding more fierce and more committed if you're attacked. When the honey badger gets attacked by a larger animal, it's like you can see total rage and hatred all over that creature. They're just absolutely savage. Yes, that's how they're wired, but maybe we can start wiring ourselves that way. The more we think about this stuff, the more we realize the probabilities that we face out in this world, and the more we train. I want to be able to protect myself. I want to be able to respond and fight for my family if need be. Well, that takes mental prep. That takes training with certain tools. That takes training my body in combative arts. It takes all of those things. A famous quote in my arena of thought here is that when you're in a crisis, you're not going to rise to your expectations. You're only going to fall to your level of training. Along with their fierceness is resilience. They are such a resilient creature, not only in solving problems out in the wild in general, but solving problems when they're under attack. There's just a resilience that this creature has. These creatures have weapons on them. They have claws, they have teeth. Now, you know why I talk to you so much all the time about being armed with your own claws and teeth. And I'm not talking about physical claws and fangs. I'm talking about your own types of tools, whether those are firearms, whether it's a blade, whether it's a stun gun, whether it's a baton, whether it's pepper spray. Being armed with things that can equalize you in a situation. The honey badger is an independent creature. Now let that sink in for just a moment. Is your mindset, the police will come to help me, the government will protect me? If that is your mindset, you're not thinking like the honey badger. The honey badger is independent. The honey badger knows that nobody's coming to save him. He's fighting for his life because he's dependent on himself. Honey badgers have a very unique intelligence about themselves, and that's what we need as well. We're not just training our body, we are training our mind, and that's why my channel is focused on more than just fighting. It's focused on mental warfare as well. Again, folks, we're not honey badgers, but there are things we can learn from the honey badger. I love ending videos with a question. What do you think about when we think about honey badgers? What are some things that you may know about that creature that you believe we can learn from them? Thanks for sharing. Take care.